If you are interested in sharing your stories, message me on Instagram. All the handles will be below. You can also follow the podcast on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. I would definitely love to hear from you guys and hear your stories and your experiences.
You obviously, like, I haven't really told anyone, but I've been close to, like, getting, like, married.
Okay, this is news for me. Spill the tea.
Yes. In 2013, if you remember, there was that specific man, foreign man.
I know the one.
We spoke about it, but I was too young. I was just in first year, and
Wow, I didn't
the inability for him to understand that I needed to grow. I needed to find out who I am, and he just was not willing to wait like that. He just saw it as if you don't want to do this with me, it means you don't love me. I'm like, no, but I do love you. But the thing is, can you just wait for me to grow? Just not in terms of age, but in terms of just life. Maturity, progression with life, you know. Then, once I've been able to become who I need to become, then absolutely, definitely, yes.
See, I don't trust people who love bomb. Because I've been in, I think, almost every one of my relationships, immediately the love bombing of like, oh, don't you love me? Why don't you want to be with me? I get guilt tripped a lot. I can see where it comes from with my mom. But like, oh, you're not doing this for me. You need to prove yourself, so you need to do it this way. You need to do it this way or there's no way.
Yeah.
So every single one of my relationships, I got into the relationship out of guilt because I was like, oh my God, this person's love bombing me with, I love you. We need to have a relationship. If you love me, you'll do this for me. And then what happens? You get into the relationship and they stop trying, they stop caring. And I think those people are so dangerous because they want to get into a relationship because they're so afraid of being alone and sitting with their thoughts. They would rather be not healed, ruining somebody else's life just because they don't want to be lonely. I don't think it comes from a malicious point. I do think it's coming from this unhealed childhood trauma of like, I don't feel safe being alone with myself. I need to have people around me. So I think you were pretty mature to say, I'm not ready, can you wait for me? And if he wasn't ready to wait for you, that's his loss. Straight up.
Also, if I had agreed, I would never have found out a lot about myself and what I think about relationships and the fact that I'm polyamorous. Like, I don't agree to cheating. I don't subscribe to that.
Yeah.
But I do realize that dynamics with relationships are different. And that's what I learned. I learned that I can absolutely be monogamous, but it doesn't really work out for me like that.
I can get that. I can get why you view it like that. I notice with most people, especially if their parents get divorced, they either do one or two things. They're either gonna go the route of, oh my gosh, you know, my one is out there, my soulmate, I'm gonna hold on to them because I don't trust all these ones out here. And they're waiting and they kind of fantasize of their ideal soulmates and what he should be like. Oh, he should just get me. He should read my mind, which is bad because what you're doing is you're shutting down potential partners for this fictional character that you've created in your mind. And there's the other route, which I feel you go down, the route of, oh, I don't believe in the institution of marriage. I don't believe in people trusting each other and being content with one partner because I've seen my parents.
Getting married today and who I am now is going to be a completely different person in the next 10 years. How about the next 20 years? 25 years? So how do we now make that work for you as an individual and for the person that you bring into the situation?
That's why I feel with our parents, they got married when they were teenagers in their 20s and stuff like that. That's so young. Imagine getting married when we were 20, when we were still in university, compared to who we are now. We've changed so much in the period of just look at 7 years.
Yeah.
Exactly. We've changed so much. And what a lot of married people don't understand, when you're getting married at a young age, you're that person. You're lively. You're great. You're a great 19-year-old, the best 19-year-old version of yourself. But when you reach your 20s, you're dealing with new experiences, new people, whether it's co-workers, new friends, and with every person and every experience, you're going to grow and change.
Yes,
and
definitely.
And you're going to go through that with your teens, your 20s, 30s, and 40s. That's why in the beginning of this episode, when I mentioned each age group,
the category, yeah,
and how they've changed, that's just a process of growth. That is an example of how much they've grown throughout their lives. So if you're going to add another person, another partner, you're changing, they're changing, your goals, your ambitions, your values start to change over time. So you can't expect that same 19-year-old you married share the same values you have like at 50.
When you yourself don't even carry those and you've changed. For me, what really, really like gets me is when people don't realize that changing, being able to change your mind, decisions, and all of those things is okay.
It is okay.
But my thing is, don't lie. Don't lie to yourself, and then don't lie to the next person.
Definitely.
It should be, okay, I love you, but I don't think that I want to continue having sex with you. So what are we going to do?
Yeah. And that's where you get the people that say, oh, I just feel like they've changed. They're so different.
Do you get what I mean?
Can we get a divorce because it's not working out? You know, that's if you're lucky. You get a partner who'll sit you down and say, hey, it's not working out. Can we get a divorce? But what happens is, most of the time, someone steps out because they say, oh my gosh, I'm not satisfied with this person.
Oh my gosh.
Let me go find someone who does.
This is so wild. There is like a story that I saw on social media where this woman caught her husband cheating.
Oh wow. Yeah.
She caught her husband cheating, and she was like, let's sit down and let's actually talk about it.
Yeah.
I think they've been married for more than 15 years. I think they have 3 kids together. She was just basically like, what is it? Like,
what's the issue?
What is the issue? Only to find out that they hadn't had sex in 5 years.
That's a long ass.
She took ownership and responsibility, and she was like, okay, we haven't been intimate for 5 years. I had a role to play in that.
Yeah.
I understand you stepping out and whatnot. So what can I do? Obviously, you have to have coitus with your man. But like, what can I do to ensure that this doesn't happen again? They had a honest, deep conversation. Whereas
I love that.
people are like, the moment he cheats, he's out the door. He's out the door. I can't deal with that. Da, da, da. Not realizing that there are roles that we play.
Definitely.
And someone will obviously be more responsible in the situation. But like, what do you account for? What are you going to say? You know what? You stepped out. Why?